Can't believe this happened to me.
I'm Jake Lewis. I'm a hip-hop artist from Norton, Massachusetts. My talent is beholding the title as a lyrical wordsmith, making bomb spaghetti, and creating various forms of art.
My name is Dr. Brian J. Wardiga, and my position at Lasell College is Associate Professor of Communication. I also serve as the General Manager for Lasell College Radio, the Advisor for Lasell College Television, and I also oversee the multimedia budget.
My name is Alex Wyman, and I play the guitar, and the drums, and the piano, and the bass, and I sing, and a few other things. Yeah.
My name is Kay, and my talent is I love to sing and I love to play music.
Dr. Erin Vicente, Associate Professor of Communication.
My engineer is very rare, but also led by fear. I look around at people who said that it's gonna be their year. I check my lane.
So I discovered this talent when I was like 15 or 16, working at McDonald's, and I made a friend there. His name's Nick, and we ended up kicking it one night, and we were just in his whip, driving down the highway, and he turned on a song and was like, yo, this is my friend Nojan. He makes rap music. And I was just listening to Nojan spit on the track, and I was like, for some reason I felt like I could do it. So we ended up linking up with Nojan, and he was recording a track at Nick's house. So the beat was just on a loop in the background, so I just sat in a corner, started writing some stuff down in my notes on my phone. And Nojan looks at me, he goes, like, you're writing something, like what do you got? So I stepped up to the mic and just started spitting what I had, and he liked it. And then from there on, I just kept writing and just didn't stop.
So when I was a kid, my parents bought me a guitar for Christmas because I expressed this interest in music and I wanted to take lessons. So I tried to take lessons, and that didn't really work out because it was hard to learn. Like, you know, it was all this music theory and it was all math to me, which it is math. I just didn't really want to learn it by that way. So the guitar sat around for a few years, and eventually, like, I had an incident where I wasn't able to play sports or any physical activities like skateboarding anymore. But so I couldn't do any of that anymore, so I picked up the guitar and I was like, all right, maybe it's time to learn this thing, you know, something that I could use to take up all this free time I had. I started to teach myself, and, you know, then I moved on to other instruments, and that's kind of how it started.
I first realized that I love music when I was in England, and my mom, she taught me piano, and I just kind of wanted to play piano to be like her, and then I started singing, and here I am.
I think being a Lasell Laser has several meanings. I think first and foremost, students that come to Lasell College are here for a close-knit community with small classroom sizes where you can walk across campus and you're almost guaranteed to find somebody that you know. I think the college has done a lot to try to create an identity for what it means to be a laser. We have our values to live by, obviously. The slogan to be in pursuit of great, I think all falls into that category. But you know, when I really think about being a laser, I think about the close-knit community and the small class size.
For me personally, being part of the Lasell community or being a Lasell Laser really means giving it my all in the classroom, outside the classroom, really being someone who can help students change their life.
This is my place, this is my home, and I say
I've learned a lot about myself in the last 2.5 years being at Lasell, just living life. I think one of the most important things that I've learned is that everything that I do is really just kind of in an effort to understand people and inspire people to understand each other. From there, inspire people to connect with each other, just because I really think that human connection might be one of the most important things about being alive. And so I love that connected learning lets me be in my psychology classes and learn about people and how they think and how they interact with each other and how they can feel and how they can feel for each other, and then take that and try and make music with it, and then use that music to further inspire all the people around me.
So connected learning at Lasell has helped me progress like a couple of my crafts, like photography. I took photography sophomore year, and if I didn't take that class, I don't think I'd be at like the level I'm at now. So I can photo shoot really anyone, anywhere, anytime, and there's no problem. Say my graphic design courses, really just like the teachers really helping me with how I should approach design. And the graphic design work could just go anywhere to help my fellow artists in Boston, like create cover arts for them, just do stuff on the side for just different people. Just all the crafts that I've learned here at Lasell, they all intermingle and then spread out to the world. And that's how it's connected learning has helped me.
Well, a lot like music, I wouldn't be where I am if it weren't for like the people around me, like my friends and a lot of people in the same kind of music scene as me who like push me to keep working and like writing by like their own talents and their own, you know, creativity. And being able to like be so close to those same people who like, you know, one day are gonna be stars and one day people are gonna look up at and be like, wow, like, you know, I'm never gonna shake this guy's hand because he's too famous for me. But one, that doesn't happen, and two, these people are now my friends, so I feel like I should take advantage of this, and everyone should take advantage of the people around them who also have talents. But
connected learning could be bringing in a professional speaker from the outside world into the classroom, or just the opposite of that, which would be sending out students into the real world to conduct professional work, such as creating documentaries or PSAs for local organizations.
It really just means taking your scholarship and really putting it into practice. So allowing students the opportunity to be engaged through a textbook to understanding theories, but then having them go out there and be able to apply those theories.
Don't want a robbery, soon as the vibe off, just know that
In a few years, I see myself at the House of Blues, the Middle East, upstairs and downstairs, out in LA, over in New York, back in Massachusetts. I just see myself really everywhere. Definitely see myself on stage with the homies, Swooly, Lotus, Lace, everyone. That's where I see myself.
In a few years, I hope I'm doing something really, really cool, because if I looked back a few years from now, or if I was a few years in the other direction from now, looking forward, I don't think I would have said that my life would look anything like this, but I'd be like, heck yeah, if I knew. I hope I'm traveling a lot and that I've met a lot of really cool people, beautiful people. I think that I would love to be making music. I would love to be making music at that point and putting myself out there like that. But I don't think I really need to be living like a lavish, crazy life. I honestly would really love to have a tiny house and just kind of be traveling across country with that. And then a porch as well. I want to be on the top of that porch with a guitar playing music.
so hopefully when I graduate, you know, I'll want to have a lot more of my design work out there, whether it be for commercial or independent use. I would love to, well, I am always going to be playing music and always going to be creating and making art. Something else I would like to keep doing when I get out of here is like, learning, always, whether it be taking inspiration from other artists around me or, you know, the places that I would go to. I would really love to travel, honestly, get more culturally unbiased. Yeah, I just want to see the world, eat a lot of food, meet a lot of people, and have a good time, and always do the things I love. And I know if I do that, then, you know, money will hopefully find its way in my pockets, and enough to hopefully get me around to do those kinds of things, you know. And many people may think, well, you know, you can wish for money and you can hope for money to come around, but if you always do the things that you like to do, you're going to do a really good job at those things. And someone's always looking for something that you can do. So I'd say that there's some money in that.
stuck in the pick it out it, let 'em know.
My favorite memory while performing my talent would have to be at the August 11th show for the masses at Patterson Creations in Attleboro, Mass. We all got together, just like a bunch of artists from Massachusetts, and we all linked up for this big show. And it was really just to set in stone that we're all together in this and we're gonna come up together. And the highlight of that night was at the end of the show, towards the end, getting all the performers up on stage and being able to just like speak to the universe what we're gonna do, and just solidifying it in front of fans and just for ourselves. And that's definitely like a highlight memory in my mind.
If I play music and I can see people like happy or smiling or like clearly like moving around a bit to the beat and stuff, that means like I'm doing my job correctly, you know? Or if I'm playing by myself and I'm writing a riff, you know, I'll sit there for like an hour just trying to get one thing like perfectly in time and just as correct as I can get it. And I'll finally get it. And it's that feeling of confidence, just sitting there like jamming on that thing you've been trying to write or work on for so long, and then you can just play like you've been doing it for years. I still pretend I'm a kid sitting in front of the mirror in front of like 12,000 people jamming on that one little riff I just made. That's like 12 seconds long, but took me 2 hours to write.
My favorite memory performing ever was I went to camp as a kid. I was at this 2-week-long just parent trap type of sleepaway camp. It was the very end. There's a ceremony called candlelight, and you kind of all just come together, and it's an emotional night because you've made just the best friends ever, and everybody's sad to leave, but everybody shares a little piece of themselves. And some people perform when they're sharing that piece of themselves. So I was terrified, but I got up there in the middle of this huge circle of people. And honestly, it sounds so cheesy, but I looked up at the sky and the stars up there are just so beautiful. And I was like, I really didn't know what to sing. I got like stage fright for a second there. But when I looked up, I was like, I have to sing Drops of Jupiter. So I sang Drops of Jupiter, and it was the coolest thing ever.
I have a lot of favorite memories here at Lasell College. It really consists of a lot of firsts. The first time we won some awards and finally got recognized for the radio station when we got some trophies from the Intercollegiate Broadcasting System. Back in 2013 when we finally won Organization of the Year. Seeing some of my students, like in 2010 and 2013, win Student Leader of the Year, those were very satisfying moments for me. I'll also never forget when our Halloween dance sold out DeWitt Hall for the first time, and we had hundreds of students lined up at the door. Some of the performers that we got on campus for the first time for interviews and for on-campus performances and concerts, those will always be some of the best memories for me personally. And also I can't forget seeing some of my first students graduate. That's definitely up there on my list.
Too many to name. I think every year graduation becomes a memory. You know, to work with students their freshman year, I think of the first class that I had the opportunity to teach, and then to see students graduate and walk across the stage is such an accomplishment. It becomes a very fond memory. There's memories that I have of inspiring students and being inspired, of leading students and being led, and I think, you know, that's the beauty of being a teacher, is just all of the fond memories that I can look back on where I've maybe not only changed a student's life, but they've changed mine.
Is mixed up with information, deters from this life's creation and all of our innovations. I hope that you can.
Major ties in with my talent in a lot of different ways. Like I make all the graphic design covers for my songs, for the projects. Like the show we had for the masses that was on August 11th, I made the poster for that. It just cuts the middleman out, so we don't have to contact anyone to get things done. Like I can just do it on the fly whenever, and we don't have to worry about paying a ridiculous fee for someone to make something. We can just get it done, and there's no lag time between when we want it and when we get it.
I think they go very hand in hand, but I think that maybe the reason for that is because the core of both of them are just trying to understand people. And so maybe for the purpose of this and just in general, I think maybe my talent is less about music, and at the core of it, maybe very much so about just understanding people and having the capacity to want to understand people and want to help them feel something. And I really just want to share, I guess, love with people, make them all happy and smiley, and I think that that's kind of how music and psychology go together.
Well, I may not have a lot of redeeming qualities per se, but one of them is that I am creative, and that is definitely something that graphic design requires you to be.
Vibing with the